Hi, this is your girl Michelle from Healing Out Loud. I just wanted to go over a quick podcast with you. Just got out of a funeral. My boss' wife died. So I'm just taking it easy. The reason why I want to do the podcast is because they've been married for over 40 something years. And they were dearly in love. And what I'm getting at is it's a healthy relationship. Something that we all want, being as though we're in domestic violence. I said that I would get back with you with a podcast about family and friends and how you can't tell them everything or how they trust. Or it's not even family and friends. It is family and friends. But the moral of my story I'm going to present to you is not to the domestic violence victims, but to those family and friends who I'm talking to right now. I'm going to ask something of you people. Please stop hurting feelings of domestic violence people. Please stop spreading the business of domestic violence people. Please stop running your mouth about them with other people. You don't know their story inside. They may have told you bits and pieces, because that's what we do. We tell you bits and pieces. And it is a murder by mouth. It is very hurtful. It is very damaging, especially when you sit there and say to them, why'd you stay? Or you stupid. I have had people say to me, you stupid. You, what? I even had a guy, my uncle took me over to this guy's house and the guy said to me, what's wrong with you? You would have never let nobody do nothing like that to you. Something wrong with you. Oh. Really? The point is this. Those little things that you say hurt people. We are not totally healed. We are not mentally okay. We are not emotionally okay. We're not even really capable of showing feelings or trust anymore behind that. And you make it hard for us to trust anybody when you do things like that. And that doesn't mean that you guys are bad people or anything like that. That's not my point. My point is you contribute to the further abuse by doing that. That's still abusive behavior. And that still doesn't help anybody to heal. The best thing to do with domestic violence people is to be supportive. A lot of times being supportive is not asking them a lot of questions. Not asking them what you're going to do. They can't make up their mind what they want to do yet. It hasn't settled in. Go at their pace. Offer just support while go with you to the doctor. Don't ask them what they're going to the doctor for. Don't ask them what they're going here for. Say, do you need me to go with you? Mm-hmm. That's support. Say, you know what? The man never treated us nice. And when we were in those relationships, actually people didn't treat us nice. So just say to them, or if you can, not everybody can, even if it's a McDonald's, say, I want to take you out to lunch. I want to take you to get your nails done. I want to take you, let's just have a fun day. Let's window shop. I ain't got no money, but we'll just walk around, look, maybe we'll get some ice cream and pay for it for them. Because most of us, when we're coming out of those relationships, we don't got no money. Our independence was gone. But you don't know all this. But don't assume that you know. You just have to be nice without asking questions. We are not ready for your questions. We're not ever going to be ready for your questions. And the most part is we don't have to answer your questions. And I'm being polite. It hurt. It's damaging. It's not right. Stop talking about them. When they come up, if they get up and move from a seat, and I'm a woman, I know what we do. Child, let me tell you what. You know, he called and she answered it, and you know she met him over there. So what? She might have to go back a couple times. You know, not these women's, we think that we're still in love. We think that all that was going on, that was love. And until we realize that it wasn't love, until it settles in us that wasn't love, that was a whole lot of hurt and pain, and I got abused through it, it's nothing you can say or do. Another thing, brothers and sisters, brothers, siblings of the victim, don't get involved with the fight. You can go rescue your sister or your brother out of that relationship. Don't badmouth the one that's beating them. Don't do it. You know why I say that? And I'm saying that for your benefit. Because later on that night, he could have called. And they go right back with him. And then after he beats the brains out of her. See, logic doesn't have to be the truth. But logic has to make sense. And all he got to do is make sense to her. Well, your brother said this to me and said that to me, you know, and this and that. And they'll get that in their head. Most of us are brainwashed through these men. And if you don't act like you brainwashed, you getting your butt whooped that night. Or that instant. I told you. Domestic violence is smarter than people think. We thinkers. We warriors. We're survivors from getting our butt whooped. And most of us live in survival mode without a paycheck. So it's very hard for us victims as it is. Even if we left already and we're still struggling with our identity, like who we are, or everything is unfamiliar to a domestic violence victim. Let me explain to you what goes on with them, why I'm giving this video. Because I need people to stop talking about them and stop treating them different. Everything is unfamiliar. They are not they self. They realize that they're somebody else. They're in this thing that's in an inner body, and the inner body is only talking to the inner body. The outside don't matter because they done built up this tough skin and this tough shell. And this shell gets abused, and it gets hit and hit daily, and boom, 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 you know. So everything is, I hear it and I don't hear it. That keen inner sense. And I'm telling you, see how I'm lining my face? That's how much of yourself you do recognize. And you don't even recognize that. Your body inside is talking to itself. Saying, listen, enough is enough. You getting ready to get your butt whooped. Turn to this side today because, you know, that side is still hurting. So this side, you probably can deal with it if you can get to that side first. You know, you might be like me. If he hit me in my head one more time, I know I'm going to be dead. Or your leg broke. Your ankle broke. You might got black eyes. One is already closed. Your lips out to here. My lips already big, so can you imagine how my lips was? I couldn't even breathe out my nose. So I say that because this is what they be going through in the inside. So they only have a little bit of them. So what they're struggling with is their identity. The comfort of sitting around people and can relate again, can communicate, can stay in a conversation. We're shy. We become shy. I was a bold, outspoken person. But in a way, you become shy. Because you learn you want peace, not chaos. And that keen sense already puts you up to this chaotic, you know, or you're asking me too many questions. Some of them are still programmed, so they might answer your questions. Don't force anything out of them. Don't force them to tell you their experience. Every time they tell them stories, they relive it. Some stories I tell you, I'll start crying. because I can't relive it. I can't talk about it. Some things were so traumatizing that I don't even repeat it, or I blocked it out in my mind because you can't handle it. That's why I said you ain't ready to tell or to answer anybody's questions. They could break down. Mentally, they're not stable. And there's nothing mentally wrong with them. They're not mentally crazy or anything like that. Mentally, from all the abuse and with no counseling, a domestic victim is like a time bomb. When they're going to break out and cry, I don't know. Some of us kill ourselves. And that could be the cause of you asking questions when they ain't ready to answer questions. Or they could have hurt you talking about them. Or you put too much pressure on them. Or you didn't help create that safe environment. If they come to you, and if they do tell you, create a safe environment for them. I always say, if you're not going to help the situation, then don't belittle it. Don't create mess for them. They need healthy people around them. We need healthy people around us. We need people that are smart, that are intelligent, that are quick thinkers, that don't ask a lot of questions, but you already, let me tell you something about the weapon of prayer. If you're a prayer warrior, a real prayer warrior, and you connected with God, let me tell you something. God will show you things. And I know what I'm talking about. You will know what's going on, but God has to trust you. That's the whole key. He ain't gonna tell you something about somebody if you're gonna run you back. Oh, such and such on drugs. Because God will show you that. No. You don't say that. So when you're around domestic violence people, a woman or man, you be quiet. You read the room. You read what they're feeling. A lot of them are still in a shell. And until they feel comfortable, until something happens for them where they create an independence for their self, not just a job, it could be a baby step. So watch them. The baby step could have been she actually went outside and walked to the corner without being scared. She actually drove somewhere in a car by herself. She actually went in the store by herself. I don't know if you people don't realize how serious this is. It's very serious. And when I say drive to the store by yourself, I mean that's a great accomplishment. Because some of these men follow you when you get to a store, or if they find out where you're at, they'll follow you. You might not make it back home. You might be forced to go with them. Witness. And the minute, and if you say no, that you ain't going with them, the minute you out of other people's sight, our whooping starts all over again. So please be careful with my sisters and my brothers. Don't talk about them. Don't treat them bad. They already had enough going on. Please stop it. Domestic violence is serious. It's very important. It's very important who they guard themselves, who they're around. It's very important what you say about them, how you treat them. They're not special people. They don't need special needs. They don't need special treatment. They need a lot of their base needs a lot of quietness, peace. You don't have to help them because they have to help themselves. These things they have to create in themselves. So you don't have to help them, but they need you to just be quiet. You ever see, a lot of you don't even know how domestic violent people get into these homes. Why you think I always say if you call me, you might go through a little chaos to get to my number, but you'll get it? Because we go through channels. to make sure it's safe. I'll give you an address. You give me an address. I'll send out a message to you. You send out a message to me. If I had to meet you, I ask you A, B, and C. Because I'm not coming to pick up a woman and you're at that place with a man, and the minute I pull up, not only will that man shoot you, but he's gonna shoot me first. He's gonna jump on me first. So it's channels that you go through to get these women safe. I have a whole separate phone that I keep that women's call me all night. And I will get up in the middle of the night. I don't get money from anybody to pick these women up or to put them in a hotel room or anything like that. I pay for it out my pocket. I pay that other phone bill. I use my gas to go pick them up. I give them A, B, and C scenarios. Because you gotta have somewhere safe for them to come. I gotta make sure after I pick you up, we not followed. I gotta make sure if I do pick you up, there's a crowd somewhere around. So if I scream help or a witness, all these places got cameras all around them now today. I gotta make sure somebody's face is on that camera. That's how serious it is. So please, stop talking about us. Stop treating us bad. We don't need it. All we need is help. And you can't provide that type of help because you're not trained. You need to be trained to deal with domestic violence, women's. And the reason why I say that is because they lost a lot. Men too, they lost a lot. And if they have the kids with them, can you imagine? That's twice as bad. So they have to learn how to get independence again. They have to learn they have to get a place to stay. They have things on their mind that remembering this night happened to me and I was beaten so bad. And I got one night I remember in my head. I was getting ready to say it, but I heard the Holy Spirit say, shut up. I got one night I remember in my head. And I don't talk about it unless we're at a group setting and I see the room, read the room. But that's what domestic violence go through. So please, stop it. Okay? Now, I love you too. All right? But you know, I gotta say what I gotta say. Because somebody gotta say it. There's too much going on. Too much being said. All right? So I hug you too. I love you too. All right? All right. See you next time.